witches, warlocks, and cock blocks. For the past 2 years, I've been gang-stalked and harassed, followed, 7 days a week around the clock. Some weirdo, obsessed, down low, and I don't have anything against anyone's sexual preference, but this individual happens to be on the down low. Or there is multiple characters that's a part of this story that's on the down low. However, this weirdo, spoiled brat, narcissist, conniving, deceitful, miserable, evil, wicked person, individual, has conspired by way of witchcraft and dark magic, or what would be considered dark magic by technical terms, has took it upon themselves to attempt to attach themselves to me and steal my gifts, siphon or steal my energy, attempt to steal my destiny, and by way of not being a good steward over resources and finances and funding, yet having connections and being able to reach out to these connections, be it in politics or public service or law enforcement and or military, has squandered and used their resources and connections to dispatch an all-out army of regular civilians, with retired veterans, with current members of the U.S. military services. And initially, at first, when this happened, I thought it was all a part of my workers' comp case. Because, see, I had a workers' comp case going on around June 2022. And shortly after, around July, August, is when I noticed a whole bunch of cars following me. And the volume of the amount of people steadily increased over the weeks, over the months. It got to the point where it was no longer considered normal surveillance or normal confines of doing investigative work to see if somebody was faking an injury or an accident. It was more along the lines of stalking and harassing. What I didn't realize at that time, in the first year, for the first 6 or 8 months, was that I was being targeted unjustifiably, but targeted by what is considered a cult, a coven of witches and warlocks, a fraternity, so-called secret society. Most of these secret societies believe they have truths and secrets that they don't have, that they don't possess, that they can only wish and dream they possess. However, that doesn't stop these type of individuals from congregating and coming together and feeling important and believing that they hold certain truths and certain secrets and certain information that sets them apart and aside from everybody else, when in actuality, what they may hold or think they have is only kindergarten. This individual, I couldn't have known in the first year, the early months, how weird and obsessed, how idiotic, how wasteful, how deceptive and conniving, and how miserable this individual was. To invest their energy, their time, their mental space, every fiber of their being, to obsess over one individual. The question is then why? Well, when you're dealing with covens and witches and warlocks and people who have money to waste. This idiot was using his finances to travel overseas to commission very powerful practitioners, magicians, sorcerers, spellcasters, root workers, all in an attempt to siphon my spiritual abilities and gifts, all in an attempt to steal my destiny, to do a body swap, to do a soul swap. Now, these are things you only hear of in movies, on television. You wouldn't think that this was going on in real life. And come to find out, it's not just one weirdo. It's multiple weirdos. It's multiple exes and family members and people who I had no idea, don't even know, still don't know, existed. All playing in my energy. Why? Because some miserable idiot got a reading. Some disloyal, hateful, spiteful, jealous, envious, low-life, so-called friend, so-called family member took it upon themselves to record private, personal conversation and then take this information to the same group of individuals who are witches and warlocks in real life undercover. The same lowlife is such a brown noser, such an ass kisser, such a no identity having individual that anything they can do to fit in, that's what they'll do. The same individual I peeped early on wanted to be me. So much like me, wanted to act like me, wanted to talk like me, wanted to take on my characteristics, wanted to take on my vibes, my nature, my mannerisms, while at the same time pretending I had no validity, no value in their lives or in the world for that matter. The same individual tried to copy my style in so many different ways. I peeped it, but I didn't say anything. You know, if it helped makes you be a better person, hey, you know, piggyback off of me until you find your real identity of who you are. That's cool. The issue is I didn't know that this low life was going to take it as far as they did. I still don't have all the details, but I know enough to know how many of these pieces fall into place and fit together. So the personal private conversation was that I met with an authentic shaman, a real authentic, genuine shaman from the motherland, born and raised in the motherland. Beautiful personality, beautiful spirit, traveled the world giving lectures and speeches and receiving standing ovations from every ethnicity, whether it's Caucasian, Black, Asian, after every lecture. I had heard about this shaman for years. I had made intention to meet the shaman, but it didn't happen. Later on, after 2012, I was able to meet this shaman around 2019. That's how many years went by. I remember traveling to the hills of South Carolina, and after I finally reached, I sat outside in the back of a house. There were chairs lined up in the back of the house. There was a few people ahead of me sitting in the chairs. I greeted them. I sat in a chair, patiently waiting. A nice Caucasian lady came out and greeted the people in front of me as they went in and got their reading and sat with the elder. When it finally came to my turn and everyone else had left, me being the last one, the last appointment for that day, um, this slender Caucasian lady came out and greeted me with the warmest hug, um, and welcomed me. And then she ushered me in to meet the elder. As I walked in, I was a little nervous, not knowing what to expect, but knowing that it was necessary, knowing that I had waited for this moment for a while. It's not that I didn't know of other um, men of valor or men of stature or men who had certain honor and respect about themselves, or at least that I honored and respected. It was that it was something about this particular elder and his aura and the light that he brought to this world, and how people responded to him in the way that they did. But more importantly, it was me reading, or shall I say listening, to his audible, his biography, and connecting with his story and being mesmerized and amazed by his story, from a little boy all the way up to his journey as a world-renowned shaman. And so finally the moment had arrived as the slender Caucasian lady ushers me in to meet with this elder, this shaman, authentic from Africa. And he smiles and he greets me and I greet him and I bow and I sit. He extends his hand and tells me to sit, and they suggest I record our session. And as I'm sitting there, we're doing small talk and he's trying to get a feel, and I'm talking and letting him know how honored I am to be in his presence. He proceeds to say, spread out your hand and spread these shells, these cowrie shells. I don't remember too many bones. I know there were some coins and some marbles and shells for the most part. Maybe a few crystals or stuff like that. And as I begin to spread, then he tells me to stop. Once he tells me to stop, I sit back. I watch him. He leans forward from his chair. He looks over at the spread. And at first glance, it just seemed like it was going to be a regular observation. But then I noticed the look on his face and the look in his eyes. He leaned over more, and then he leaned over more intently, almost to study very closely something that caught his eye. And it wasn't just in one place on the table that caught his eye. He was looking around the table at the spread, at the things that caught his eye. So much so that once he studied the spread, he looked up at me while still leaned over or in a leaning position. He looked up, raised his head, he looked at me. He stared, actually. I won't say a frown, but it was kind of frownish. Like squint, but not really a squint. Then he fell back in his chair. After that, he leaned forward again and studied the spread once again. This time, it was more like a frown, an intense, deep look on his face. Then he looked up at me again with that same intense, deep look on his face. His hands touched his face, and he fell back a second time in his seat. So not only did he fall back once, but this elder had fell back twice. And all I could do was observe and remain still, and figuring that eventually he was going to say something. I'm thinking, man, maybe I messed up. Maybe there's something that I, did, or I don't know. But he leaned up again and he looked over the spread and he said, I'm picking up a time pre-dynastic, before Egypt of old. He said, in fact, what I'm seeing here goes beyond any dynasty or any timeline of existence. He looked up at me. He looked down. He said, what I'm witnessing on this spread is that you were amongst those when they uttered the words, let there be light. He said, you are older than the oldest dynasties. He said, people make the mistake of thinking and believing that you're just a regular, normal human being. And he said, you're far from it. He said, you're not a regular human being. He said, in fact, this earth is not your home. He said, you're not from here. He said, you come from a neighboring galaxy next door to this galaxy. He said, there is a large craft above this earth right now. Thus your family. He said, they watch you. They follow you. He said, your true essence and your true form is some type of hot metal dripping being. And he said, wait a minute. He said, I'm picking up on a larger craft. And then there's another one here. He said, okay, this marble or this object over here is where your home is. He said, but this over here is the craft that watches. He said, you belong to a special group of beings that's sent here to help save humanity. He said, when the time comes, you in this group of you, he said, you're not the only one. He said, there's many of you, yet there's only a few of you. He said, you've been operating behind enemy lines for too long. He said, now it's time for you to surface. But you're not alone. You belong to a group that come from beyond the stars to help save humanity. Most of what he said to me was confirmation, being that I am a student teacher of the great Honorable Dr. Malachi Z. York, Chief Black Thunderbird Eagle, who spent his life's work and career waking up his people, the lost but now found, Negroids and Nagaru, and also being of service to humanity. He always taught us that there's no race, or no one wins the race in racism. He always taught us the truth of every ethnicity, how we all came to be, how we all come to be in existence, and the history behind events that happen to cause the planet to be in the shape and the condition that it is today. He taught us about the cycles of time, the 24,000-year period of 2 moon cycles and the 24,000-year period of 2 sun cycles. He taught us about Planet X, Nibiru. He taught us that there's no coincidences if it happens more than twice. He taught us many things about many subjects underneath and above the sun that would be considered information. Information is received within the confines and the realms of this planet. And then he taught us about outformation. Outformation is information that comes from beyond the stars and into our realm to be processed. Most of the subjects and most of the answers that he taught us, it couldn't have been read in a book or figured out by any mortal or human being. It had to come from beyond the stars. Every great leader, every great ascending master, ascended master, and master teacher has been slandered, lied upon, gossiped, character assassinated. Why? Because for whatever reason, these fallen angels are trying to maintain a stronghold over this dominion, over this plane. And when an ascending master, an ascended master, or a true master comes to wake up those who are willing to wake up and ready to embark upon that journey back beyond the stars, then a lot of opposition takes place. A lot of lies are told. So a lot of what this elder, this shaman, this authentic individual told me, may he rest in power, Elder Meladome Some, was confirmation of many of the things that I've learned from the great Dr. Malachi York, Chief Black Thunderbird Eagle. And it was things that I needed to have confirmation on because I've studied, I've read, but what is this truly going on inside of me that I can't explain? And in the chief's absence, I still had these DNA explosions and things going off that I needed answers for. I learned in that moment that the master teacher was right when he said he's not the only one with valuable information and knowledge, that there's many on this planet. But he is the only supreme being and oversoul of all souls and the last true master to come with all the answers, knowledge, wisdom, and experience of all the masters, and that after him there will be no more. He didn't say he was the only one, but he said that he is the last of many that have come. Turns out, from my estimation, that the individuals who decided to attack me spiritually, these practicing witches and warlocks, this coven, these dark magic practitioners, are actually related to the master teacher, Dr. Malachi York, his own family. And by way of his sister and his niece and nephews, these people have acquired wealth, status, and been able to maintain it by practicing dark and evil magic. Me, personally, I can't wrap my mind around trying to steal somebody else's destiny or gifts. Whatever is yours is yours. I'm not interested in taking it from you. I guess I wouldn't be the type of person to make, or hopefully make choices that will ruin so much of my destiny or path or journey that I will feel the need to sell my soul where I can't get it back, and now I have to try to maintain life force or energy by siphoning and stealing somebody else's. With all that these devils have put me through or tried to put me through, by the grace of the Most High, the archangels, the ancient overseers, Panatharu, those are those deities, those gods and goddesses that walk the earth in ancient Kemet, Mitzrayim, or Tamare, also called Egypt. Those powerful beings who went back beyond the stars to Orion and Sirius star constellation, and my ancestors who have guided me, protected me, loved me, passed down their spiritual gifts, and only after all of this chaos and confusion and coming into the realization that my bloodline is an ancient, powerful, royal bloodline of men and women who have spiritual gifts, of mighty warriors, extremely mighty warriors, I may add. But it turns out that the main characters appear to be related to the master teacher, and the main characters are the ones that have been squandering their resources, their finances, using their connections as the agents they are, and utilizing their handlers who are in cahoots with them with the crimes that have been committed through the years, the attempted murders, or the murders, I should say, the cover-ups, and things of that nature. The reason why I say that is because I talked to some of the people that's close to them that say, yeah, these people murder people, these people get rid of people, these people use their corrupt law enforcement connections to do certain things to people. Now, that's not far-fetched because I've seen corrupt law enforcement turn a blind eye. Any day of the week, 7 days a week, you can see what gang stalking looks like up close and personal. You can gather that experience with your own eyes and witness it with your own eyes, what gang stalking looks like by a bunch of low vibrational, low thinking, miserable individuals who look like witches and gargoyles. When you look over in their cars as they hanging out on the side of you, because their strategy is to siphon your energy either way they could get it, to try to disturb you or disrupt your peace in some kind of way. Some kind of way, this is how their spells and sorcery is triggered and works. If they can disrupt you and steal your joy, steal your peace, and drag you down to a low vibrational state, this is the recipe, the formula, the soup for siphoning somebody's energy, stealing somebody's energy. So they dispatch all of these low vibrational, low thinking, miserable looking, miserable acting, gargoyle witches looking individuals to follow you around, whether on foot or by car, thousands of vehicles every day. And again, they have connections. So you'll see law enforcement jump in there. Whatever this fraternity is, there's different levels and layers of this thing that I've come to realize. And it makes you wonder, where's all the honest agents, the honorable agents, the stand-up law enforcement that not only believe in doing the right thing, but actually understand what their oath of office means and is all about? Where are they? Is the entire justice system that corrupt and that tainted that those few honorable men and women who want to do the right thing, their hands are tied because they can't, or with all the evidence that's already present, they have to drag their feet and build in a case with all the evidence they already have. They have to wait to the right moment, the right time because of the people around them. It just makes you wonder, does the whole entire justice system need to be revamped? Do we need to get rid of the old way of thinking and bring in new men and women with courage, wisdom, honor, respect, nobility, and stand for what's right with courage? Or do we continue to allow the current state of law enforcement on every level to remain what it is, with people who just want to come to work and collect a paycheck, feel powerful, feel a false sense of being powerful in retirement and pension, while they abuse their authority and turn a blind eye to real crime while they participate in being the criminals themselves? Is it normal for thousands of vehicles to take up unnecessary traffic, to stage and create traffic jams in plain sight, in broad daylight, or at night, any time of the day or night, and for people to see it with their own eyes and pretend that it's normal? I would have never known until these chaotic events took place that most traffic jams are staged. So when you hear people talk about these type of events are staged, or these type of shootings are staged, or these type of things that happen in society are staged, they're telling you the absolute positively truth. Now, whatever is being held over their head to make them fall on their sword, to change their story, I don't know. But I know for a fact, from my own personal experience, every single day I witness staged traffic jams that otherwise wouldn't even exist if these low vibrational gargoyles and witches was home somewhere with a family, or actually loved themselves, or actually went to school and acquired real skills and real training, and actually contributed to the economy and helped businesses, whether small or big businesses. See, part of the problem is a lot of these gargoyles, which really, when I look at them and the way they scurry along the interstates, they really, to me, are the closest thing to cockroaches. The way they drive, in packs and groups, and then the way they scurry along real fast, and then zoop, zoop, zoop. It really is comparable to when you turn a light on in the hood, in a hood apartment in the hood. You know, when you go to your cousin crib or your sister house, she live in the projects, and you know she don't wash the dishes, and you know they don't mop the floor and sweep like they supposed to, and you know the kids drop crumbs, and you know they leave the dishes piled up in the sink, and then you go over there just to, touch base and, let that part of the family know that you're thinking about them, you're checking on them, you still love them, etc. And then you walk in the kitchen and you see, oh, damn, I was going to try to cook something, but I can't cook with a whole bunch of dishes in the sink. You know what I mean? I was going to try to take my shoes off and relax, but I can't do that with all this on the floor. You know what I mean? I need to keep my socks on or something. But when you flip that switch on, that light in the kitchen, bloop, and you see all them cockroaches scatter, zoo, 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 zoo. You're like, man, who turned the light on, man? That's how these low vibrational, low thinking gargoyles and witches act. That's how they drive. You see them. You'll see them for yourself 7 days a week, front row seat. And for people to act like it's normal, and for law enforcement to just jump in, let you know it's different layers and levels, it's fraternities, it's groups, it's organizations, it's contracts involved. Yeah, this is the state of the world we're in today. This is why it has to be revamped. So all of these devils playing in my energy because some low life went back and said something to somebody that I shared with them, and now these witches and warlocks got a reading. Who is he? What is he? He's lying. He's not this. He's not that. He's not who he say he is. He can't be this. He can't be that. They got a reading, so now they want to put me to the test. And at first, it caught me off guard because my mind simply wasn't on what it is that they were doing, the game they were playing. But once I got focused, once I realized that, damn, I gotta kind of put my projects to the side that I'm working on and deal with these devils, these animalistic a-holes. I said, okay, let me see what's really going on here and why am I dealing with this situation? And I got to the point because I was being sabotaged. Whoever this was, they spared no expense. They wanted to destroy every fabric of, my survival. Why? I don't know. But that's what they wanted. So meanwhile, they casting all type of spells and attempting to poison me when I went to restaurants. Oh yeah, don't think I don't know you tried to poison me when I went to that restaurant. But the time it took for me to finally realize that all of this bullshit I was going through, it was meant for me to take a hard look at me and to realize that the only ones, after everybody betrayed me, so-called family, friends turned their back, nobody was there for me. I truly went through this shit all by my lonesome. Out in the cold, freezing, stranded many times, several times. No one I can call or turn to. All of this happened for me to realize that the only ones that truly loved me and that have truly guided me, protected me, blessed me, loved me, held me, was my ancestors, my spirit guides, my spirit teams, the Most High, the archangels, and Panatharu, the ancient overseers, providers, and sustainers. Once I came to that realization, it almost seemed as if the key had been entered into, one key had opened many, 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 many doors of opportunity, resources, and realization, and DNA explosions, and, my mind kicking into another level. And with all of these low vibrational individuals that continue to eavesdrop and stalk and harass, judgment is upon them now. They are all, I want to say this in all sincerity, every last one of you that have participated, regardless of your title, your position, regardless of you hiding, if you do not get indicted or go to jail eventually, it does not matter. You should be thrown under the jail, every last one of you. However, even if you don't get indicted, even if you don't get arrested, even if you don't go to jail, the spirit realm, the ancestors, the angels, the galactical heavens is going to deal with each and every single one of you. It doesn't matter how much time passes. It doesn't matter how long it takes. There is not one of you that has participated in harassing me, stalking me, following me, using energy weapons towards me, that is not going to meet your judgment. We all have choices, and you made your choice. to attack me and to come out against me, even though I've done no harm to any of you. You all are going to meet your judgment for trying to ruin my career, for trying to get me fired, for trying to mess up my finances, for trying to have me homeless, for just being plain dumb and not having a brain of your own to think, why are we doing this to this person? What did this person do to us? Nothing. Yeah, you'll have your judgment, no worries. And it's nothing I need to say or do. It's unfolding, and many of you know it already. The point I wanted to make is that these people have tapped into my emails, my phone. They have been stealing my mail. They have been committing fraud behind the scenes. They have been making sure I don't receive my mail. They've been changing documents behind the scenes. They've been using my likeness. There's copycats. All of this shit has been going on behind the scenes with multiple characters, multiple people. I mean, it took all of this, and from what I'm hearing, these devils are going broke now. It took all of this for them to realize that, oh yeah, that guy right there is who he say he is. He is what he say he is. Because with all the death magic, with all the hexes and curses and beauty spells and wishing me bad and evil intent, with all of that shit from some of the most powerful practitioners and magicians and warlocks and witches and bitches, and still I smile and I show gratitude to the Most High, my big brothers, the archangels, and my sustainers, the ancient overseers, Panatharu, and my beloved ancestors, my bloodline. And I thank them, and I continue to push through. It's not that it's not annoying to have all of these little gnats, flies, and roaches all around you every single day, because that's how I see you dummies. No disrespect, but that's how I see you dummies. Bunch of gnats and roaches just scattering around. You know, it's not that it's not annoying, because we all know it's annoying when you got a bunch of gnats and stuff flying around you and you're just trying to enjoy, you know what I mean, your meal, right, at the picnic, and you got all of this buzzing around you, and you know, you won't go bite your sandwich or something and it's trying to land on your sandwich. That's annoying, right? Kind of almost piss you off, right? And so you start swatting, or you like, damn, and you get up, you want to move to another location or something, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? So it's like, man, that's how I see y'all. I'm like, man, I'm just trying to work. Y'all devils ain't working. You think what you doing is work? That ain't work, man. Jumping in front of somebody in traffic, you dummies. Jumping in front of an 18-wheeler as if you hurting me. No, stupid. You committing suicide. You gonna be flat like a pancake, dum-dum. Listen, dum-dum, come here. If you jump in front of an 18-wheeler, you're gonna be flattened like a pancake, a sardine can. Most trucks have cameras, right? And then they got these devil agent truck drivers out here participating, all these dumb truck drivers that's participating, thinking they could box me in. None of y'all on my level can do what I do. None of y'all. I get around y'all like, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm at a skating ring. I get around y'all like, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? And I'm not bragging, because I'm not a braggadocious person. That's not my style. But it's just that, you know, it gets to a point where enough is enough. You know? Enough is enough, dum-dums. You know, get a real job. Get some real skills, real training. Use your skills and your services that you acquire for the military for good. Go fight real wars. We get to the point now where soldiers with real training is scared to fight real wars against a real enemy. You now want to use those skills against civilians? That's cowardly, man. That's dishonorable. For real, for real. But be that as it may, overall, many of you are not soldiers. Many of you are just regular people that's desperate for money, that'll do anything for money, sell your own mama out for money. That's terrible. This is why the Ascended Masters said that the planet must be destroyed on the surface and that many of you have to be wiped out because of your level of thinking. We are moving into um, a cycle where all those, regardless of skin color, that are attempting to have love, honor, and respect and work together are the ones that's supposed to be here. The rest of y'all gotta go. We can't move forward with y'all around. Y'all holding up the progress. Y'all holding up the process. Y'all devils gotta go. And I'm not saying that because I hate you or I want something bad happen to you. Nah, that's not my style. I'm saying that because it's the truth. Y'all devils gotta go. You got to, man. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? You gotta go. You in the way. You in the way. Everybody else is striving to have love, honor, respect, commitment, loyalty, trust, worthiness, work together, love one another. And even if we don't love each other, we still striving to have respect and honor, right? Which is just as valuable. You don't have to like me or love me. Just respect me and honor me, right? But a lot of you're not on those vibes. And we are literally vibrating higher. Therefore, you are going to be removed one way or another. It doesn't matter whether you like it or not, whether you agree or not, whether you believe me or not. Your ass is going to get removed one way or a goddamn another. Man, I love y'all. On one hand, I hate y'all bastards. But on the other hand, y'all taught me valuable lessons about me. Thank you, motherfucker. Thank you. But at the same time, I can't stand y'all little roaches. You know what I mean? But thank you. I'm gonna need y'all to start acting nice though and being nice and stop trying to mess up my money. Okay? I'm gonna need y'all to cut that bullshit out. I don't deserve that. I work hard. I work harder than all of you thousands of dum-dums combined, and you know it and you see it. I work harder than all y'all cocksuckers. Why? Because y'all make my life difficult, right? Or try to. And still I smile. However, still I rise and keep persevering and pushing forward, right? All gratitude again is done to the Most High, the archangels, the overseers of my ancestors, but I keep pushing. I'm a reflection of them, representative of the galactical heavens. And it's disappointing that you would think that it's okay to steal my destiny, something that I earned, worked for, instead of working with me or initially having a heart and the common sense to say, man, I want to work with that brother. That's a good brother right there. Not perfect. I'm not perfect. Nobody perfect, but I'm a decent person, man. I'm a good brother. You could talk to me. I could talk to you. You know what I mean? Don't try to play me, though. I ain't a sucker. And nor am I a tough guy. And I don't act like I'm a tough guy. And I don't carry myself like a tough guy. No, I do not. But I'm not a pushover either. I've been to jail for attempted homicide. I'm not a pushover. Trust me, I'm not. But I still want to smile and give love because I come in peace. But if you box me in, I'll fuck you up. And I don't care how tall you is, how big you is, how much muscles you got. I'll do what I got to do. And I'm not saying I could beat everybody because I know I can't. But whatever you do to me, just know I can do the same thing to you. Now, why we got to get to that point? Why can't we just have love, honor, and respect? I know that's going to trigger a lot of you devils because that's what you want to hear, especially you corrupt law enforcement cocksuckers. That's what you want to hear. That will get your juices flowing. And I'm not antagonizing y'all devils, man. But I also know that whatever you think harmful towards me, even your thought of harming me, not even putting on your drawers and lacing up your belt and then trying to act towards it, just the thought is going to have you fucked up. My bloodline, the spirit realm, the upper echelon of the most powerful beings in all of existence don't play about me. Believe me when I tell you that. Trust me when I tell you that. And many of you already know and are coming into full fucking awareness of that. They do not play about me. I am their baby. Let me repeat that. I am their baby. I have the entire galactical heavens watching over me, honoring me, respecting me, and loving me. When I say entire galactical heavens, galaxies, etc., take it how you want to take it. If it were not true, I would not say such a thing. Who am I? I'm just me. I am that I am. Look at me as a nobody. Look at me as a no thing of something. I just am what I am. I'm here to spread love, give love. That's all. I'm here to help the future generations usher in the next 24,000 year sun cycle, where the world could be balanced and restored back to peace, tranquility, honor, cooperation, respect. And for those of you devils who don't like it, again, you're going to be removed one way or another. Actually, you're removing yourself. He's bragging. No, I'm not, dumb. I'm just stating the facts. You're taking it as bragging because you mad. He's flashy. Flashy where? I've been up, I've been down. I'm just balanced. I've had money, but I understand when you get wealth, resources, it's meant to be used to help increase the betterment and the livelihood of those around you, those in the world, to cause home to come up with solutions for homelessness and solutions for poverty and solutions for youthful crime, right? Come up with solutions for world hunger. That's all. That's all. That's it. Don't be mad at me. Embrace me. Say what up. You know what I mean? Keep it moving. You don't like me? Keep it moving. Trust me. I'm not going to voluntarily force myself in your energy. So keep it moving. Don't try to force yourself in mine. Listen, I don't need your attention. I don't beg for your attention. I don't try to get your attention. However, many of you want my attention so freaking bad. You hang out on the shoulder, over my shoulder, on the side of the truck, or wherever, whenever I'm driving. You act like the weirdos you are, just staring. I mean, y'all some weird mofos, man. Weird. I've never experienced an entire group of weird ass people, or maybe not all people, non-people. I haven't experienced so many weird ass individuals ever until these past 2 years. Y'all some of the weirdest. I'm not going to use the R word, but y'all some of the weirdest individuals I've ever experienced, man. And like I said, when I look over at y'all, and I'm not judging, looks, but in this instance I am. When I look over at y'all, man, the shape of y'all head and y'all face and the way y'all look, I'm like, yo, I know that's not a human right there. I know that that's like some type of gargoyle. I know that's a witch. Yo, I seen one a few weeks ago at the Walmart. This is when they start coming out comfortable, or it was some type of, I don't know, I think y'all must have had some type of emergency recently in the past few weeks, because y'all, there was like a couple weeks in a row where y'all came out, right? Y'all came out of hiding and y'all was at the Walmart early. I'm like, yo, this is unusual. You don't usually see these caliber of individuals shopping in this neighborhood at this store around, you know what I'm saying? But it was because of me. And I'm looking at the big ass puffy bags under y'all eyes and the long pointy noses. The same shit that as a kid in the cartoons we grew up watching looked just like that. The pointy noses, the one fucking hair coming out the chin, that thick piece of hair coming out the chin type shit, the big ass mole on the side of the nose, and the big ass puffy ass bags under the eyes and shit, tea bags and shit. And I'm looking at y'all and I'm like, yo, what is that right there? What is that? And then I seen one approach one of the attendants, one of the girls, but she stood extra close, like right in her face and her aura and her breath, like she was trying to fucking consume her breath, like she was trying to like consume her spirit and shit. And I started to stop and walk over there and say, excuse me, give this young lady some space. I started to tell this young lady, yo, don't let this witch stand this close to you. She trying to consume your energy. So I just got a call. But yeah, this is what I've been experiencing. A bunch of hating ass, jealous cock blockers, witches and warlocks, niggas that want to copy me so bad and don't know when to stop, don't know when to give up, don't know when to go about their business, man. That's what's fucked up about the whole thing. They even have tapped into my email and found out, or like I said, first they got a reading and they found out who my divine counterpart is. And as disappointing as it is, it appears that there could have been manipulation and trickery involved, and these people going ahead of me and involve themselves, possibly, um, in situations that they shouldn't be in. Yeah, it's crazy. It's been rough, but it's all been a part of my growth to understand who and what I am and what I'm meant to do. Um, I meant to make something like this video a while ago, but I just been busy. Like I said, having to work harder because of these devils. But like I said, for every action and deed they've been doing towards me, their time is coming to a close, one way or another. You can't put out this type of evil and not reap what you sow. You just can't do it.